What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've been asked a bunch of times about car company fragrances because it's no secret I have my fair share when it comes to Mercedes. Obviously, I worked for the brand for several years. Big fan of their fragrances as well. Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and so on. There's a lot of car company fragrances. Alfa Romeo even has some car company fragrances. So I figured I'd compile a list of my 10 personal favorites because, believe it or not, there's some really good fragrances from these car company brands that are being put out, being made with world-renowned master perfumers. And most of the time, they're pretty affordable. So let's discuss. Stay tuned. I felt it only right to deem what most people would say is probably the best car company fragrance. It's definitely the most popular and hyped. That would be Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Mercedes-Benz Club Black is all about amber, vanilla, a little spiced and smoky with some ambroxan that gives freshness and helps this one push. There's hype for a reason on this one, people. It smells incredible. This is the best affordable vanilla. You can get this in the realm of $50 from discounters online. I'll have links to everything below as best I can. And this is phenomenal. This is kind of like we started with number one. Number one ranked is what we started with at number 10 is kind of how you can look at it. Even though the list isn't ranked as a whole, this is the best one, at least in my opinion, and I think that's the overall consensus. Performance is really good, solid 8+ hours in longevity. Projection's really good for about 2 hours. This is great in the cooler weather daytime, but it shines on date nights, evening appropriate scenarios. It's very seductive. It's a sexy scent profile, as it's known by many. Women enjoy this one. I can tell you firsthand, my wife's a big fan of this fragrance and the club line as a whole. Her favorite Mercedes fragrance is actually the original Mercedes-Benz Club. So if you haven't checked this one out yet, you're missing the boat because the hype is real on this one, people. Again, it's Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I'm a huge fan of this one, and I know it doesn't get a whole lot of love, but it sure deserves it. For under 30 bucks, it's underappreciated. A lot of people will compare it to Lalic's Ancre Noir Sport, and it is similar, but this is way spicier. Black pepper spiced. It's Jaguar Pace Accelerate, the flanker to Jaguar Pace, the original fragrance, which in its own right is actually quite good. You can see the dent in this one. Great for the gym, great for work, great daily wear year-round. It's airy, watery, fresh, loads of black pepper though. Just know if you don't like pepper-heavy fragrances, you won't like this. With a nice, lightly smoked, earthy, but woody vetiver. Like there's a watery accord here, really helps make it on the fresher side of things. It's a very fresh, spicy, woodsy fragrance. Good stuff, average performer, actually not that bad, 4 to 6 hour range in longevity. You're going to pay sub $30 price point. I believe it's a 90 or a 100 ml. It's a 100 ml. It's worth getting, guys. This is, now look, they have a ton of fragrances from Jaguar and a lot of people, some of you are going to chime off right now in the comments and go for it. My favorite's Jaguar Classic this or Jaguar Classic Black. Ross, you would love it. It's like a blue fragrance, and I hear all that stuff all the time, and you guys are probably right. Can't check out everything immediately all the time, but I'm always on the hunt for a good car company fragrance. And if you're doing the same, take my word for it and get your nose on Jaguar Pace Accelerate. The only one I'm going to feature from this line, because this is arguably my favorite line from Mercedes-Benz, and all of them are good. They're all good. There's not a mediocre fragrance in the line, in my opinion, but it is Mercedes-Benz Man Gray. A very specific fragrance. I did a full review on this one fall of last year. So a lot of amberwood, pink pepper, vibrant sweet spice. It's smoky, it's woodsy, it's classy without being serious. It's laid back and casual without being playful. It falls in between all of that somewhere. This is a good fragrance. This is a really good fragrance. It can be had for a great price, sub $50 price point, typically mid-30s to mid-40s range. You can get this. It's an above-average performer. It's quite masculine. Again, great everyday fragrance that doesn't have that youthful feel to it, because I know some of you guys that are over 30 into your 40s don't really like a lot of the sweet, dominant fragrances these days, or don't want a ridiculous amount of ambroxan, because there's ambroxan and amberwood in here. There's modern synthetics, but it's not overran with them. You get more incense and pink pepper and woods Then you do Ambroxan. Now, like the Amberwood, I guess, kind of helps it shine a bit. Don't get me wrong, but great fragrance. Great fragrance. So much so that I chose one from this line. Because there's fragrances in here where I have multiples from the same line for the same car company. But not here. I went with what is my personal favorite, because I do have 5 or 6 in this line. Again, all good. Can't go wrong with any of them. But if you value my opinion in any way, you need to try Mercedes-Benz Man Gray. Now, a lot of people may be expecting Bentley For Men Intense to be in this video, and it could be if I didn't like the original more. So some of you know that Bentley For Men is pretty much my favorite Bentley fragrance, and I do prefer it to the Intense. Newer viewers to the channel, or maybe this is your first video on this channel, you probably had no idea, and you probably assumed Bentley For Men. Hell, I might even have this in the thumbnail. But the difference here is Bentley For Men Intense is even more in your face, rough and masculine. It's very smoky, it's very woodsy, it's just animalistic and dense. Whereas here it's spicier, it's boozier, it's smoother, and you don't really sacrifice much in performance, because Bentley For Men Intense is a beast. This depends. It could be anywhere from very strong to a beast. But weak and average, it is not. And you can get it in the $30 to sub $30 price point. And again, it's my favorite from the house as a whole, really. My favorite Bentley fragrance, my favorite in the Bentley For Men line is the original. This is the best fragrance to me for my taste. Some of you may disagree and say the Intense is better. And look, I really enjoy the Intense too. It's been recommended many times on this channel. But if I have to take my pick here, I mean, I like the spicier and boozier one, the smoother, more wearable one. That's why I recommend the original Bentley For Men. Now, I'm pretty sure this is discontinued, but this isn't about what's for sale on the market. This is about what's the best car company fragrances. The best means whether it's still for sale or not, basically. So I apologize, there probably won't be a link to find it down below unless you want to go to eBay and pay ridiculous prices. But Mercedes-Benz Cologne. The only car company fragrance I have a backup bottle of. I have a 75 ml capless tester sitting in a box waiting on me to slowly go through this bottle. Because I wear this one every summer. Every summer, and then in the cooler months, I wear it out the shower sometimes. This is beautiful. It's a lot of orange, lemon, and grapefruit. It has that lemonade smell, even though there's a lot of orange going on. Similar to Dior Homme Cologne. And there was a time that this was affordable in the $30-some-odd price point, and it was the one to get. It was the best option for the scent profile, because Chanel L'Homme Sport Cologne, the most expensive, the best, but the most expensive of that style. Dior Homme Cologne, higher, like double the price of this when this was available at discounters. And though this was in the same price range as Jimmy Choo Man Ice, in my opinion, this has always been way better than Jimmy Choo Man Ice. But if you like more woodsy fragrances, Jimmy Choo Man Ice is for you. But as far as what, honestly, if I could just take one out of all 10 here, it's this. There's a reason I have 2 bottles of it. It is that good. When it comes to citrus fragrances, it's one of the best I've ever smelled. It's one of the most enjoyable. There's never, whether it's freezing cold, negative 10 degrees outside, or the heat index is 125 outside with 100% humidity, there's never a bad time to sniff on this fragrance. Whether it's just a spritz on your hand, a spray out in the air, or dousing yourself in 15 to 20 sprays, it's phenomenal. It just is. I love this fragrance. Even though I gave Mercedes-Benz Club Black the praise, it's also the one that's on the market. It is the sexiest of the group. But as far as the personal wear, this is the best one. I hope it's not truly discontinued. I don't know. It comes and goes over the years. I'd love to see more bottles drop for more people to get their hands on it. But one of the greatest citrus fragrances of all time, in my opinion, is the famed, infamous at this point, Mercedes-Benz Cologne. Now here's a fun one that doesn't get any love, and this is actually really good. This is really good. I bought this one on a whim in a fragrance net haul a while back, and it's so good. It's kind of a cross between Eros and Ultra Male, but a little bit more wearable than both. It's Mercedes-Benz Sign. This actually already has a flanker, which I haven't tried. Gimmick atomizer. I can't stand the atomizer. You got to catch it in the right spot. It smells like ultra male in the opening. Immediately I get that sweet, fruity, spiced, just smells like ultra male. It's youthful, don't get me wrong, and it's fresh, but it's still very sweet. It's spicy, it's woodsy. There's a lot of aromatics here. There's a little hit of soapiness to this one. This bottle, if you see this one out there, there's a lot of orange blossom that kind of stands out here. Mintiness. Like the florals here don't make it real flowery. The bottle's cool. I actually really like the glass and the buckle design to this. The only problem is that this is just a gimmick atomizer. But you can find this one for a decent price. I'm sure it's still available from FragranceNet. I'll try to have links down below. It might be available Fragrance Buy, eBay places. Who knows? It's available. It's in production. But it's really good. Now, would I recommend this over Afnan's 9 p.m., which is a superior, believe it or not, clone to Ultra Male? Not necessarily, but if you kind of want that combination, it falls in between Eros and Ultra Male. It kind of has the best of both worlds. You might like this one because a lot of vanilla and apple and mintiness that you would get from Eros is right here in the fragrance profile, as well as all that sweet, spicy tone, and even a little bit more added, like I said, orange blossom and lavender and stuff like that. Kind of give it that little something extra to not just smell like the two fragrances combined, but kind of give it its own elements to really create a somewhat unique but playful blend that deserves more love. This is really good. It's Mercedes-Benz Sign. If you've ever smelled Acqua di Gio Essenza, it's phenomenal. It's a lot of people's favorite version of Acqua di Gio. It literally smelled like just super potent original Acqua di Gio. Now, this isn't one-to-one. This omits the florals. Like, there's differences. But it's about as close as you're going to get is Bentley For Men Silverlake. Again, it's about as close as you're going to get to Acqua di Gio Essenza. A lot of violet leaf and metallic and aquatic. And there's some greens. Like, it smells like Acqua di Gio Essenza. It does. But it's missing some of the florals. It's got the aroma chemicals and everything. It's pretty, I would say it's like 80%. 75-80%, which is pretty close. It's really good, and you can find it in the $40 to $50 range, which for Bentley fragrances is typically on the higher side from discounters, but that's okay. It's worth it. 8 to 10 hour fragrance, easily in longevity, strong for 2 hours, compliment monster because Acqua di Gio's scent profile always has been and always will be a compliment monster scent profile. Look, I'm not guaranteed you're going to get a compliment with this or Acqua di Gio, but the likelihood definitely goes up with scent profiles like this. It works. It always has. Again, it always will. If you like that scent profile and you want better performance, you don't want to spend Acqua di Gio money, which compared to this is a lot higher, even from discounters, go with this. Go with this. This is one of the best bang for your buck fragrances from Bentley for what it provides, because if smelling great to others is important to you, you want something super mass appealing that's easy to wear for you and you can wear with anything, that dress corner of the dresser type of fragrance, this is the one. It's Bentley For Men Silverlake. Woody, earthy green, iris, a little powdery. This is a different fragrance from them that is impressive. There's an earthy tone. It's green. It's got immortelle, papyrus, vetiver, while still having a lot of iris here and geranium to give it this freshness. That's where the freshness comes from. It is Bentley Momentum Unbreakable. Did a review on this one a while back. It's kind of a dark horse pickup from them because Momentum Intense got all the love for years. It was supposed to look like CH Men, and Bentley Momentum Unlimited, very fresh, light blue type of fragrance with a little bit of leather. There's some good stuff from this house. I've never tried the original, but this, Dark Horse, doesn't really get talked about. It's not the most natural iris, but it's not a super waxy type of iris. It could be all the supporting players here, the immortelle and the patchouli and stuff like that, papyrus, that could be offering a lot of the earthiness, but it smells more natural than Gentleman EDP, Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir Parfum. Like a lot of these more popular, waxy, super powdery, makeup bag, lipstick smelling fantasy irises, basically is what it is. It's not real iris. Whereas I'm not saying this is Florentine iris. I'm not saying it's natural orris butter. But it smells like it's of higher quality because I think the supporting players here, the supporting notes, the supporting cast, if you will, really help bring that earthiness to life, that earthy, flowery smell where it's not super powdery. This is beautiful stuff. This is elegant. This is not what most people would expect from Bentley, from a car company fragrance. This is an enthusiast level fragrance for affordable money, $40 range. Really good performer. It's impressive. This is one of the more impressive fragrances that will very much surprise you. If you're expecting one thing, you're probably going to be surprised. You're going to get another. You're definitely going to get another. Earthy Iris. Hard to not like if you're a fan of stuff like that with Bentley Momentum Unbreakable. Now, we featured its flanker earlier. It was only right to feature Jaguar Pace because it's one of the better shower gel scents, blue shower gel scents out there. It's just really, really good, guys. I mean, if you haven't tried it, you're doing yourself a disservice. This 60 ml, 18 bucks in the link below. If it's still in stock anyways. Last time I checked it was. But $18 for this? It's peppery, rosemary, green spice. Has that Ambroxan shower gel smell, though Ambroxan's not listed. You're going to smell Ambroxan. It's a spicy shower gel. Decent quality. Doesn't smell super cheap to me. It doesn't smell like an $18 fragrance. I don't think anyways. Some may beg to differ. It depends on your outlook and your take. Are you in the niche world at this point and can still appreciate a good cheapie? It's probably not going to smell super cheap to you. If you're kind of turning your nose up to stuff like this, then it's going to smell cheap, synthetic, horrible to you. So it's all about perspective, basically. Because I think for the money, this is one of the best car company fragrances you get. This is the cheapest one. This is the cheapest one in this video. Under $20. It is the smallest bottle at 60 ml, but 4 or 5 hours of longevity, maybe 3 hours if you have drier skin. All good. Great refresher out the shower. Great gym fragrance. Great short-term run-around errand fragrance where you don't need but a few hours. Or even if you want to wear it to work and you work 10-hour shifts or whatever. Just keep it with you if you can and refresh every 3, 4, 5 hours depending on how long it lasts on you. Or if you want to relive the opening every hour, 2 hours. I get that. I have 8-hour fragrances that I used to refresh at the 4-hour mark just to rejuvenate the opening and beef up the sillage. Like, it's all about perspective, like we were saying a moment ago. But for 18 bucks, it's kind of a no-brainer to roll the dice on this one if you like shower gel scents, because it's actually a really good shower gel scent. It's Jaguar Pace. Last but not least, unfortunately, this is the second discontinued fragrance. I know this is discontinued because Ferrari stopped making all fragrances, I believe, is my understanding. So like every Ferrari fragrance is discontinued now. But I have 2 bottles of this. So I take that back. There's 2 car company fragrances I have 2 bottles of. I bought this capless tester from Fragrance Net a while back. And then I was gifted by a friend a partial that's like 80% full. So I have a backup bottle of Ferrari Radiant Bergamot. So those of you that watch my weekly rotation videos, you're no stranger to this bottle. It has a mild leak in the atomizer, so it loses prime. See, so I have to prime it back. I love this fragrance. This is my favorite to spray out the shower. It has eclipsed Nautica Classic as my favorite out the shower fragrance. That's why you don't really see me wear Nautica Classic anymore, which I've worn multiple bottles over the years. It's not like I haven't had my time with that. I'm enjoying this. It's a beautiful, zesty, spiced green citrus. It's just hard not to like. I can't help but do 8 or 10 sprays just to lounge around at the computer or in front of the TV for a few hours before I go to bed in the evenings, because I'm an evening shower type of person. This is good stuff, guys. Again, probably not going to have a link down below for you to check it out. Probably going to have to do eBay because they're discontinued, and the 4 from this line in particular are pretty sought after. I have 3 of the 4. The one I don't have is Bright and Rolly. Go figure, what most believe to be the best one. I don't have, but really Pure Lavender is phenomenal, and this, I love this. So, again, perspective. It's all about perspective and taste. If you ever get an opportunity to try this one and you like green citrus, think fragrances like Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Cinziali Colonia, for example. You like the more Italian citrus style, that's where this would kind of fall. Then you'll like this fragrance. Does it smell cheap? Sure, it smells cheaper. It's not some expensive smelling fragrance, but it does smell good, and that's all that really matters, right? One of my favorites ever. Love this stuff. Love, love, love it out the showers. Ferrari Radiant Bergamot. Well, that's my 10 favorites. Some you can get easily, some not so easily. But until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What is your favorites from the car companies? Sound off below. I'm curious. What do you guys like to wear from them? Do you like any of the ones that are some of my favorites that I recommend? Because there's many more I would recommend, especially from Mercedes. Big fan of the Mercedes-Benz fragrances. That is the brand I have the most car company fragrances of. I could have just did my 10 favorite Mercedes fragrances, but I wanted to feature the other ones as well. Let's do car companies as a whole. I don't have a bunch from Lamborghini. I have 2, and neither of those could make the cut for these 10, but definitely give them a chance. If you've never tried any fragrances from the car companies, you might be surprised. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 10 that I featured here today and you give it a spray now, there's a chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.